St. Kitts and Nevis's new Commissioner of Police, James Sutton, called on officers of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force for their support and commitment in carrying out their functions. The installation ceremony took place at the Warner Park football facility. Commissioner Sutton took over from outgoing Commissioner of Police, Hilroy Brandy.
To my fellow officers, I am seeking your fullest commitment and support in the execution of your duty, doing so without fear or favor, to ensure that law and order is maintained in our effort to make our communities safe havens. In the performance of our duty, we shall hold true to our pledge to respect and protect human dignity and maintain and uphold the human rights of all persons. We are a part of an organization that touches and changes lives. As we interact with persons from all lifestyles in the execution of our duties. Therefore, that human side of us must be seen and felt always. The police force will continue to implement strategies to ensure that our communities continue to be a safe place to live, work, do business, and visit. It is not an I or a me thing, it is a we thing. Together, we can effect positive change and outcomes.
Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew, the Minister with responsibility for national security, believes the new commissioner will be committed in his new role.
Mr. James Sutton has dedicated his life to the service of his country and his people. As a police officer, he remains loyal to his duty to serve and to protect the public, and he continues to do so with dignity and integrity throughout his career. And so today, on behalf of the entire country, Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, it is our turn to express our appreciation to you, Commissioner Sutton, and to congratulate you on your elevation to leadership position of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force. You have proven that you are uncompromising in the fight you have declared against crime, and this is why you have remained successful throughout your career. You come to this new and major position with immense experience and expertise. You climb the ranks of the police force, exhibiting your knowledge of policing, which includes crime detection, crime prevention, and strategic planning. You continue to demonstrate the true meaning of public service.
Also attending the installation ceremony was Dame Marcella Liebert, Governor General of St. Kitts and Nevis. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.
Former Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris and Member of Parliament for St. Christopher No. 3, Conrys Maynard, traded barbs on Wednesday as they debated the good governance legislations in the National Assembly. Mr. Maynard was making the point that the previous administration, led by Dr. Harris, did nothing towards the good governance agenda it promised when it took office. Dr. Harris refuted those claims.
That he never served, that he never even took the initiative, if the government was not doing it, to bring it to the cabinet and say it's time to pass good governance agenda. Never happened yet, not once. And it was a seminal piece of the argument to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. But as you know, 7 years passed and not one piece of movement on good governance. Not one.
The members should be on.
I recognize. Honourable member for number 3, the honourable member for
Has to be
number
a
7
correction.
rose. On a point of order, you have to let him speak first.
The member again is misrepresenting the Freedom of Information Act. For example, was passed. The motion of no confidence bill was passed. Public accounts committee was passed. And it is blatantly untrue to say nothing. So.
So blatantly untrue for the member to continue down that road in light of evidence. Evidence of what we have done. Even the integrity
Both of you
public
can be on your
life,
feet, one at a time.
public life legislation began to operationalize. It is we who, example, appoint members of the commission, provided an office and put it to work. So it's untrue.
Right, so Madam Speaker, I will take 2 minutes to completely refute the position that the member from number 7 can stand in the National Assembly to say that they effected anything that could count towards good governance. 1, the Freedom of Information Act, it's on paper. Not one thing. Not even 0 things, not one.
Madam Speaker, again.
Has been.
Honourable member for number 7, I allowed you to speak, and I told the honourable member for number 3 not to interrupt you. You need to afford him the same privilege. When he's finished, you can respond, but allow him to complete his presentation.
Not one, Madam Speaker, in freedom of information. In fact, I was in this parliament when the Honourable Attorney General at that time said it could take 10 years.
The federal parliament passed 3 key bills, namely the Anti-Corruption Bill 2023, Integrity in Public Life Amendment Bill 2023, and the Freedom of Information Amendment Bill 2023 on Wednesday, February 22. I'm Andre Huey for SKN Newsline.
Hi, Tashawn Wilkin, the first assistant director here at MSR Media and a proud native of St. Kitts and Nevis. MSR Media established itself in the Federation 2 years ago, and in that time, we have produced 9 films in our beautiful nation with international movie stars such as Elizabeth Hurley, Kelsey Grammer, Malin Ackerman, Connie Nielsen, and country music superstar Billy Ray Cyrus, seen by millions of people and promoting our island all over the world. MSR has recently purchased the OTI Hotel, now called the MSR Hotel, which will be our new headquarters and creative hub in the Federation. We are now expanding, and there's a job for you. So, if you want to work behind the scenes on a film set, send an email to jobs@msrmediaskn.com. We have 200 jobs for the 6 movies we are producing this year. Now, if you're interested in the world of visual effects, we are creating a VFX company. Because in the world of making movies, computer-generated images are crucial. So if you have computer skills and if you want a job in the high-tech business, please contact us as we are looking to hire 50 people with the computer skills for our new VFX division. There are lots of opportunities at MSR Media with 200 jobs to fill. So email your resume to jobs@msrmediaskn.com and join the MSR family today.
Living in the Caribbean is like paradise until you try to sell or buy an item online. If only there was an online marketplace that caters to your region. Well, now there is. On Buy Sell SKN, you can easily buy or sell used and new items, browse for services, and it's completely free. Visit buysellskn.com, create your free account, sell your item or service, and get paid.
SKN Newsline website now offers you more news. Log on to www.sknnewsline.com for local, regional, and international news. You can also watch the latest newscast and keep abreast with news in sports, all from sknnewsline.com. That's www.sknnewsline.com. News at your fingertips.
Members of the Nevis Island Assembly concluded the debate on the Nevis Appropriation 2023 bill presented by the Minister of Finance in the Nevis Island Administration, Premier Mark Grantley. The bill was voted upon and passed after going through the committee stage on 23 February 2023. According to the Minister of Finance, the $261.65 million budget incentivizes job creation, facilitates the expansion of the Nevis economy, and addresses pressing social, health, and education needs of the island, as well as infrastructural development. Grantley described the budget as one, quote, fit for purpose, unquote.
This is a budget that is fit for purpose. It is a budget that has come after careful deliberation, and it is a budget, we feel, that has the potential to take Nevis forward as we try to build out a better Nevis for all of us.
Among the major expectations for infrastructural development on Nevis mentioned during the debate is the start of drilling the production wells to facilitate geothermal energy. Glenn Bart reporting for SKN Newsline.
The Nevis Evangelical Association will join hands with the Federal Ministry of Ecclesiastical and Faith-Based Affairs for a National Day of Prayer planned for Tuesday, February 28th. Reverend Ron Daniel, chairman of the Nevis Evangelical Association, says the event, a new initiative by the ministry, will feature a series of prayer-themed activities throughout St. Kitts and Nevis. Speaking with the Department of Information on February 22nd, Reverend Daniel explained what the association has planned for that day on Nevis.
Now, this is a new initiative by the ministry, the first of its kind ever happening in the Federation. And the whole point is in St. Kitts and in Nevis, there will be prayer happening throughout the day. Now, in the Nevis end, what we'll be doing is that we'll be having 5 different events, yes? Not in any necessarily any order of importance, but we'll be having prayers on the radio stations. So we'll be having about 13 different pastors making prayers, doing prayers, and these will be aired from 6 to 6 on all radio stations in Nevis as well as NTV. Additionally, in the morning on the Tuesday, we'll be going to the 14 different schools on the island. That is all the primary schools, the Cicely Brown Integrated, and the 3 high schools, and we'll be praying for our children. From 11 to 1, we have a time of prayer at the Bath Road New Testament Church, and all churches, all people will be invited to that. From 11 to 1, we'll be having corporate prayer for different aspects of our country. And then from 3 to 5, so it's a packed day, 3 to 5, we have what we call prayer in the square. We will be having people praying in Memorial Square in Charlestown, as well as a prayer walk that would start from the Ignite Church on Old Hospital Road.
In addition, Reverend Daniel noted that the Bath Road New Testament Church, the hub for prayer on National Day of Prayer, will be open from 5 a.m. to facilitate anyone wishing to pray. However, persons can pray at their respective churches or homes if they cannot get to the church at Bath Village. Reverend Daniel stated that the whole idea is about encouraging prayer. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline.
It's beautiful. He took one look at you and the angels started singing.
Another wonderful day.
Ah! What would you say about staying here for a few months or like a year, just so that we can be together again and just live and love and laugh and have fun and breathe?
Why are you hiding out on a little Caribbean island, singing in a beach bar?
When I came here, I was at peace. and I never left.
This is the beating heart of Nevis. This is what grounds me, what feeds my soul. It's where I found myself.
I hope your life here will be full of joy. Love this island, my son. She will give you more than you can imagine.
Living in the Caribbean is like paradise until you try to sell or buy an item online. If only there was an online marketplace that caters to your region. Well, now there is. On Buy Sell SKN, you can easily buy or sell used and new items, browse for services, and it's completely free. Visit buysellskn.com, create your free account, sell your item or service, and get paid.
If you're looking for a place to host that special event, conference, meeting, social event, party, whatever the occasion, your best option is the Millhouse Convention Center in Palmetto Point, St. Kitts. Located on the picturesque Garvey's Estate, the Millhouse Guesthouse Convention Center has enough space for outdoor events overlooking the Caribbean Sea. If you're looking indoors, the center is equipped with amenities needed to make your event a success. And by combining both spaces, you're sure to have a memorable event, no matter the occasion. Call the offices at Millhouse Guesthouse and Convention Center to book your next event on simply the most beautiful place in St. Kitts. Call 668-1392. Millhouse Convention Center at Garvey's Estate, Palmetto Point, St. Kitts. Making your event memorable.
The People's National Party is asserting that approximately 15 divisions are without councillors, and this has grave impact. At their press briefing held at the office of the opposition on Thursday afternoon, they say the decision by the government to postpone local government election is a dictatorship, and the democracy and rights of the Jamaican people are being trampled on. Vice President and Mayor Norman Scott says while they cannot contest the postponement legally, as it might never be resolved before the year end, the PNP will continue to mobilize its people.
We will continue to advocate our people, and we will continue to be on the ground with our people, and we will continue to be meeting with our people, and we will continue to call on the government to do the right thing by calling the elections.
Scott, who is also president of the PNP Councillor Caucus, notes the relevance of the election is to ensure matters such as garbage collection are done. However, he says the people are being deprived of their basic rights. Meanwhile, Councillor for Hayes Clarendon, C.N. Barneswell, referencing the Local Government Act Schedule 8, says there needs to be further entrenchment of the act.
What now needs to be done, my colleague, is deep or further entrenchment of this piece in the Constitution itself. So no government at all can say that they will extend the period in which an election is called.
Barneswell also rejected the view that there is a voter apathy, but rather people have an appetite and are craving the call. Kimberly Henry for CVM Live.
Bartholomew says he feels it's necessary to clear the air in light of grumblings in some quarters about the issue of salary increases for this year. He explains that salary negotiations for 2023 are continuing with the government's negotiating team.
PW and TAO are negotiating on their own. They never accepted the 4% for 2023, just as the Grenada Union of Teachers. We have a negotiating team. We have a national executive. We met and we decided that we're not going to, at least in principle, accept the 4%, and we're going to fight in our negotiation to see if we can get more. There is no movement as yet to the 2023 in terms of the 4%. 2024 and 2025, there have been movement there. The government started making some movements upwards. I would not say what it is, but at least we are waiting another engagement with the government negotiating team this week, and let's see what will happen.
The GUT president says there's one stumbling block. It stems from the agreement signed by the Royal Grenada Police Force and the Richmond Hill Prison with the previous New National Party administration.
Police and prison officers signing to this agreement with the previous administration unknown to us is creating probably one of the most difficult situations that we are experiencing. And so they did that unknown to us, and usually the Grenada Union of Teachers and the other unions take the leading role in negotiations. But however, there is an agreement in principle with various unions that if another unions negotiate and get something better, all the other unions will come up to. And that's the reason why we are negotiating. So the government have started to move upwards 2024 and 2025.
Mr. Bartholomew has been nominated unopposed to lead the Grenada Union of Teachers for yet another term. For GBN News, I'm Nisha Paul.
On February the 24th, 2022, as the first wave of Russian troops crossed the border, as Russian missiles struck, it fast became clear that Vladimir Putin's insistence that he would not invade Ukraine had been a lie. It was a multi-pronged attack. Russian forces crossed from Belarus and advanced towards Kyiv. There was a similar push in the northeast. And in the east, towards Ukraine's second city, Kharkiv. At the same time, mainly pro-Russia separatist forces attacked towns in Ukrainian-controlled areas of Donetsk and Lugansk. The Ukrainian president, not yet in his trademark military fatigues, called for help.
I had a conversation with US President Joe Biden. The US is starting to gather international support.
Poor planning and brave Ukrainian defense quickly scuppered Putin's immediate plans to take Kyiv. Russian army columns were soon bogged down and smashed.
The enemy poorly calculated their communications and logistic needs, and their supply warehouses were across the border. This meant that after 2 days they were stopped without fuel, ammunition, and food, and they lost the effective management of their troops.
On the 1st of April, Ukraine announced it had recaptured the entire region around Kyiv. Dead civilians, some with their hands bound behind their backs, were discovered, seemingly where they had been shot. Russia was accused of war crimes. The Russian army, which Ukrainian intelligence says had planned on taking control of Kyiv in 3 days, had suffered a historic and humiliating defeat. In May, after months of intense fighting in the port city of Mariupol, the last remaining Ukrainian fighters surrendered at the Azovstal steel plant. But Ukraine by now was receiving what would become tens of billions of dollars worth of military aid. The autumn counteroffensive liberated tens of thousands of square kilometers, including the city of Kherson.
Preparations for the counter-offensive started in April. By June, when we had received Western weapons, we were better able to hit their supply lines, command centers, and weapons, and fuel depots. We could also attack the reserve troops as they approached the front line.
But since December, Ukrainian gains have slowed to a virtual standstill. Russia has made small advances in eastern Donbass using what Ukrainian forces say is wave after wave of infantry soldiers and mercenaries from the Wagner Group. Some of the heaviest fighting continues around the town of Bakhmut, where many of the estimated 5,000 civilians who remain there refuse to be evacuated.
Officials here in Kiev and their Western allies are convinced that Russia is about to launch what they describe as a spring offensive. More sophisticated weaponry, such as tanks, is on its way from NATO countries, but with no end in sight to the fighting, many are asking just how long Ukraine's allies can fund this war, despite their leaders saying it is a fight for democracy they cannot lose. Charles Stratford, Al Jazeera, Kyiv.
Many Nigerians say these elections could not be happening at a more critical time. In the race to choose the president, vice president, as well as members of the Senate and House of Representatives, the stakes are extremely high.
The street people out there are very hungry. There is no cash on ground, and the little cash we have most time does not take care of our salaries.
Throughout the capital, people have a long wait to get fuel, and it takes even longer to get money. That's because of a rushed redesign of the national currency and a botched rollout of the new banknotes. 18 candidates are campaigning for the presidency, but opinion polls suggest only 3 have a chance of winning. Nigeria has more than 93 million registered voters, and about 40% of them are under the age of 35. That's why many here believe the youth may play a pivotal role in the outcome. Hamzat Lawal is among a new generation of activists speaking out against corruption in Nigeria and promoting good governance.
Today, we have over 100 million people that are very poor. Unemployment, over 30% unemployment rate, one of the highest ever.
He believes many of the economic problems are a result of growing insecurity in the country.
Today, we've lost foreign direct investment because the Nigerian government cannot guarantee safety of lives and property. We've moved from not only Boko Haram, now to also, successionists in the southeast, and we have bandits.
In the village of Rugan Madaki on the outskirts of Abuja, Mercy Daniels works in a plumbing shop and says she hopes the ballots will go smoothly.
I want the elections to be fair. It should be fair, and there should not be violence during the election period.
Nearby, shop owner Onyinye Okoli worries whether her son and daughter will be able to get the education they need.
We have suffered a lot in this Nigeria. I pray that after this election, may everything turn around.
In a country where so many people are hoping for change, they're also apprehensive about what these elections will bring. Mohammed Jamjoom, Al Jazeera, Abuja.
TGE Diebe Eagles and Davis Construction Lodge Patriots each recorded big wins in SKNFA Division 1 action on Thursday at the Kim Collins Stadium. Diebe crushed Newton Ground 5-1. Ronaldo Benjamin scored a hat-trick in the 6th, 11th and 54th minutes. Ahmad Shari scored in the 30th minute and Josiah Bradshaw scored from the penalty spot in the 60th minute. The lone goal from Newton Ground came from Jonathan Williams. Coach of Diebe, Kalia Huggins, said her players executed well.
So tonight's game was pretty intense, and I am proud of my team though, because they basically did everything, most of the things that I wanted them to do. I was expecting a little bit more than the 5 goals that we finished with, and I really wasn't expecting any goal from the opponent, but all in all, they went out and we came out victorious, so I'm pleased for now.
Coach of Newton Ground, Kevin Gerald, said there is a lot of work to do, though he believes the performance was an improvement so far for his team from last season.
Honestly speaking, it was not bad performance. We just started off a bit shaky. Well, obvious some finishing, some combination play. We wasn't combining much. And shooting. What can we shoot?
In the night's other match, Lodge Patriots made light work of Rivers of Living Water FC 4-0. The goal scorers for Lodge, Nickwan Wilson in the 31st minute, Rashawn McKenzie scoring twice in the 51st and 66th minute, and Horan Thoms in the 70th minute. Nazim Huggins, a player with Lodge Patriots, said even though they won, there are areas still they need to improve.
Well, the team will perform very good tonight. I would say it got room for improvement. Was passing around the ball better. We just need more passes and score more goals, and we just look forward for the next game.
Chad Brown, a player with Rivers, blamed fitness on the outcome of the match.
Basically, you see, it's an unfit team. This is our first game. We'll do better and come again next game.
The SKNFA Division 1 continues with a match on Monday at the Newtown playing field when Mantab will face Hard Times at 6 p.m.
Welcome to the SKN Newsline Weather Report. I am Janil Boole. Here is a look at the forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis. For a more detailed weather report, visit our website at www.sknnewsline.com.